And I am here to review yet another book that I read. Actually, it's going to be two books in this one. Cinder and Ellen Happily Ever After. Now, Kelly Oram did not finish the Brian and Ella story. She did not finish it. But in the first one, this one, she really left it as a cliffhanger. You know, it's about a girl that was in a car accident. You know, she was on her way to celebrate her birthday with her mom, and her mom was driving, and she was texting her internet friend Cinder, which later on in the book you'll find out that he's a really famous movie star. But anyway, so Cinder and Ella are texting at the time of her accident. Cinder never finds out that Ella got into a coma and stuff until like many months later. But you know, he's made a lot of mistakes in the meantime. But anyway, so when Ella finally gets out of the hospital, because 70% of her, like 75% of her body was like burned in the accident, so she had a lot of injuries and stuff, and she had to do a lot of rehab. So, she was down and depressed and stuff, and then, she had to struggle with getting to know the dad that abandoned her many years ago, and the family he abandoned her for. The new family was not accepting. The old family, it's nice that, Ella gets in contact with Brian again during the book, and ultimately ends up meeting him in the Cinder and Ella. And they meet by chance in real life. They meet by her going to this fantasy con thing where she goes and to see about one of her favorite books of all time. It makes it really interesting. She just was there by accident, instead of like going gaga over this like famous movie star in front of her, she's like plops him a book right in front of him and says, "This is for you. I want you to read it." Then they get into an argument, and then they figure out that they actually know each other. All that really is like really interesting. However, the second book, Happily Ever After, after they decide to finally be a couple and everything, at the end of Cinder and Ella, they like to, or they go on with how they were like the first week, how the media is treating their relationship like a circus. Everybody's trying to score an interview with the infamous Ella. People are taking her word at her words of wisdom for things, like the movie that Brian's dad was up for. Ella recommended him, but that's only because she thought it was going to be nothing but trash. And anyway, so their relationship progresses. Ella develops more self-esteem and stuff. And finally, at the end of Happily Ever After, they get engaged. Kind of a funny way that they do it. They have, whatchamacallit, Ella plans this Christmas in July kind of thing with his mom, since they weren't able to go to Christmas with his mom the previous Christmas. So they planned this Christmas in July thing, and Brian's like, well, I didn't get you anything. And then Ella hands him his gift, and it's a ring for her. And no, she's like, well, it looks like you got me something after all. So, yeah, I like the Cinderella story because it's not your typical Cinderella story. You know, when you see a title like Cinder and Ella, you expect it to be something like Cinderella. But she got along with, I mean, yeah, the stepsisters thing was a little rocky at first. So was the stepmom. But in the end, you know, they actually got along. They became friends and stuff, you know. The eviler of the stepsisters had to start therapy and stuff, but you know, they started getting along, and whew, there was no making Cinderella a maid. You know, so Ella was never a maid. She was never expected to do all the housework or anything. The dad was still around. She didn't have to deal with, you know, the dad dying or anything like most Cinderella stories. She had to learn to live with her step-family long enough to do it. But, you know, I really like it. But the thing is, you know, why did Kelly Oram quit was the thing? I mean, you could go on with all the pressure that's going to be on their relationship through the engagement. I mean, will Kaylee figure out a way to mess up Cinderella? Will all the news and media around their big fairy tale wedding, you know, put a nail in their relationship? Will Vivian's dads make a dress for Ella? Or will some other fancy designer do it? Who's going to walk Ella down the aisle? Will it be her dad? Or will Ella just walk down the aisle by herself? Who will be the bridesmaids? Who will be the maid of honor? Will the maid of honor be Vivian or Juliet? And how will they prevent the whole thing from becoming a media circus? Will there be like some extra security thing? Is there going to be a limited guest list, or is it going to be like a televised event? Man, she never went through the stuff, and I'd like to hear how it goes, and you know, how the wedding planning goes and stuff in the story. But they just left it off that they were engaged and heading to a hotel. Not one of Kelly Oram's more clean romances for the happily ever after. Personally, Kelly Oram is like one of the better young adult romance authors and stuff. I really do like some of the stuff she does, especially Cinderella.